can kind of see it's just a hint of color here and there, right? So I'm gonna try to do the same thing, just a hint of color, not everywhere basically. So, and you also have the light side, which is around like more yellow, bright, like green yellow kind of tone color. Let me think. Kind of like that. If I do this, let's see, yeah, I mean it's not too far away. I think it's a bit too green, so I'm gonna turn this a little bit. Alright, so let's do this. So I'm gonna go in. I don't want to hit everything, right? When I go in, the pressure of the pen that I'm doing is sometimes looser, and it got more stronger when I think it shows more. So for example here, I got a little loose over here and more strength over here. So just a hint of this continuation to here. Alright. So I want to do everything first and then show you guys the whole thing. So some veins here going in. A few more over here. Okay. There's that. I'm going and do this. Again, you don't have to hit everything. You know? Okay. Just go in. And you can even do more, you know? Because some of it, sometimes you can kind of see the veins in there, but it doesn't really show. Like it doesn't have a bump, but you still have the color information in there. Okay. The other thing that I kind of do is, let me show you guys after this finish. Anyway, let me finish this and then we'll see a little bit more. Anyway, so I picked this color and darker, stuff like this. And I kind of go in and enhance it just a little bit more. Okay. I don't want to do too much, just a tint, a little bit. I mean, you probably won't even, you can't even tell basically. Okay. So after I have this pass, the other thing I can go in and do is I pick the veins color. Let's see, a little bit darker, that kind of color, you know, and I would do drag and this one, you know. Sometimes I use this kind of trick. Okay, so I make the intensity really, really low. Let's see if flat color. Let's see if you can see it. That kind of information, just a tint, and drag it around basically. And like the information will be in there, but at the same time you kind of won't be able to see it because it's so small, so tiny, but at the same time it's just adding more fidelity in there. And this, you can put it on everywhere, on the face, any way that you want to put it, anywhere. And you can change different color as well, you know, because all these veins are just on our skins. So let me just change to red. Is it color? What's the color? Red. Yeah, so that kind of color. Let's go in and let's do more. I usually don't do a lot of red, just a little bit. Okay. Now we got this feeling, and I'll go in not only I do lighter color as well, but lighter color is harder to see. Yep. Yeah, something like that, but only a little bit. Anyway, okay. So let's say this is it, and we still need to add beauty marks. Okay, beauty marks. That's easy. Let's see. I don't think I have the alpha with me. I used to have an alpha that I can also add and do color at the same time and look like a mold, but I don't have it. So basically, we're just gonna do it by hand, basically. So you can see. Just something like that. Now I want to put the color to more. And I'm gonna just enhance this a little bit more. So just a few marks, a few places here and there. Hmm. Just a few of it will be fine. Maybe one like over here. Alright. and then we haven't added no noise yet, right? So adding noise will be like this. Okay. So let's just add noise. So basically just this is it. This is a pretty quick way to do poly paint and make it feel like skin. You know, we do have photo information on the head, but the body we don't have nothing, right? We started from scratch and very quick we can get this kind of feeling. So let's just do this. Let me add it a little bit and see if we can get a little bit even more out of it. So right now it's 0. Okay, I'm totally fine with this. Alright, so apply to mesh. Alright. Now we have poly paint. We have the color, you know, we have everything. Now I think we are ready to do the render. Oops, okay, we still have the head that we need to do. Like, I'm just gonna give a head a pretty, just like how I treated the clothing. So let's do that really quick. And before, let me save this first. By the way, a lot of people are asking which material will be better to show skin, and my answer will be skin material. You know, so and the skin material basic setting is like around I think like 10 or something. So we show something like this or 12. But if you want to enhance a little bit more, like the spec, it's the way that you play it. So with playing with that, if it's more muscular, you can definitely see the definition more and the skin on the top and all that, right? So yeah, that's the other way to play with it and make your model looks a bit better. Alright, let's do the detail of the head. Hi guys, so okay, so now we're almost done. I'm gonna talk really quick about the eyes color that I choose, and we're gonna move on to the head. Basically, just applying the surface detail on the top, give it more detail, and I'm gonna explain a little bit about the hair, but it's really straightforward. A little bit tricky part over here, it's how did I make the this part, this braided hair. So this is basically created from how do I call this? and insert curve brush basically. So I will explain that later. But so before I start, I want to let you know that okay, so the way that I'm doing the texture for the head is just to show you guys the workflow and some technique that I'm using to create a skin feeling of using poly paint. But by no means that I'm going to create all this individual texture because this is not. I'm focusing on anatomy sculpting, and color is just basically a lot of people ask how did I do my color map, and just kind of a bonus and showing you guys a pass of my technique and how do I deal with skin. So I'm not going to texture like the clothing or the armor or the leather gloves or the head. So basically, we're going to do a color render, yes, but color render will be in keyshot. So everything in keyshot, basically, we can just apply material on the top and go from there. All right. So by no means this is not a texture tutorial. I'm just showing you guys the method and the workflow that I'm doing for specifically my case of the skin that I'm creating, um, and nothing else. So it's not the tutorial is not a sculpting and texturing tutorial. It's basically a sculpting tutorial and a bonus for just a texture workflow specifically on the skin. All right, so the eyes. The eyes is really there's nothing tricky about the eyes. Basically, I'm just using spotlight and I'm picking one of the blue eyes that I think is cool and just put it on there. But I'm gonna do some fix so you guys can see that. So the important thing for you to pick whatever you have for the eyes is just kind of you need to fit like the style that you're doing. So since I'm not doing a totally realistic style, I'm doing more um, a little bit stylized. So the eyes that I'm picking is more stylized. So let me show you guys. This is eyes I'm picking. So you know this is definitely photoshopped, and I just find it on the internet, and I just need this part. So I basically use Spotlight, put this over here, but this is something I want to change because my final my final render, I want to pick a composition that I like, and I want eyes to basically look straight at me. So this will be basically my final composition, like around maybe here, right? So maybe around here. And I don't want her to look at my right side. I want it to look at me. So basically, um, I'm going to do that again so you guys can see it. So I duplicate this. I already did duplicate it. So I duplicate this, and so I'm over here, and I'm just gonna do white color. I'm gonna start from so you guys can see it. All right, so you guys can see the eyeball over here, right? Eyeball that we adjusted already, but I wanted to look at me, so I want to create that kind of feeling that she's looking at me through in between the two hairs, that kind of feeling. So, all right, so let's mask this one. Put it over here, basically put it in the middle. Oops. Put it in the middle. Ah, hate when that happens. Anyway, go to the middle. Alright, so around here. And I'm gonna starting rotate this kind of, I already did this before, right? So around here, and I'm gonna switch to basic material so you guys can see, so I can see more. So basically here, and I want her to look at me like here. Let's do another side. Okay. Alright, so let me make a camera so I can come back later. So around here, I believe. Alright, so now you got that kind of feeling that she's looking at us. Yeah, that's a feeling that I wanted for my final. Alright, so same thing, easy. Let's start with this. Start with this. That's my son. Alright, so let's continue. Around here, you can see it's better just fit whatever you had before, right? So you can see the line basically on the top of it. Even maybe go a little bit bigger. Since the eyes shape is a bit different. So let's see around here. Here. Alright, so that's probably good. Alright, so I just poly paint. Of course, you need enough resolution, right? So I'm going to around 1 million, and I'm gonna poly paint here. Or I can, well, I think that's fine because I'm using a base material. So if I go to skin, yeah, it will shows up more. And I will fix stuff later. So just basically giving me an idea. Alright, so another one. This one. Okay. It's probably enough. Hmm. Okay. So what I want to try is, yeah, I don't like this one, so I'm gonna try use this one over here, see what happens, see if I can get a better feeling or something. Okay, so I think that will work. We definitely have some stuff that we need to fix. Wait a second. Let's just go from here and we can basically fix it. And I just think that this can't even, so I turn off. Um, I think this can do a little bit even more looking at here. So maybe like here. The other one we have to do again. Okay. And then move this in a little bit. Okay. Alright, so let's start fixing. The first thing though, I wanted to get, just hide this two hair in the front. Alright, so can do some painting. By the way, the color over here, I'm just picking one of the color, starting painting on the top. So you get that, and I definitely want this to be bigger. I want it to be looking around here. Let's see. Okay, so maybe around here. Okay, that's good. Um, okay, so well, if you guys look at some references, the color around, like the corner of the eyes, is always darker, like around skin color. A little bit red feeling, so I'm trying to do this a little bit more saturated, just to help it the transition. And we are going to have a geometry here, which basically I'm just gonna export from my previous model. You can do this really quick. It's really easy. Just get a sphere, put it in here, and make the tear dots kind of shape. And that is it. Alright, so here I'm just gonna clean up this a little bit more. And on the side here, It's always a little bit more red and kind of darker. To kind of help out the transition. Okay. Alright, so that's one eye. And by the way, eyes, you can always give it another material. Let's just do it right now. Usually I do toy plastic. That gives you kind of like shiny feeling, right? You can go in, tweak the material as well. But right now, this is what we have, and I don't need a color, so I just need material. Hit material, color, fill object. So right now, this should be, when we change back, it should still have that, eyes feeling. And if you want to change it, go to toy plastic, um, they have over here, and usually I play around the specular curve to make it a little bit just a little bit um, wider for the specular curve. Alright, so let's go back to skin. Alright, so you can see this is more integrated in than that one, that's for sure. Okay, so let's do the other one. So don't forget to change back to RGB. Sometimes if you need more detail, you can even go in and put like veins or something in there. In this case, I don't. So on the top, I don't mind it got darker. It got darker because kind of eyeliner kind of feeling. And I don't mind that. I just want a good blend in between. So I'm kind of creating that blend. I don't want artifact. So okay. Okay, I'm just using C to color pick it and kind of paint it. So right now I feel that this is dark over here, so I just pick the color over here and trying to do a better blend. Now I think I'm kind of losing like the red color. So I'm just adding more red over here. At the same time, what I want to do is get this edge. And by the way, I'm on the skin right now. I can change this at the time that, at the same time, so it would fit the feeling a little bit more, but I don't want to be too obvious, so kind of like that. Change it like all the way over here. It's good. Here as well. Change the color over here. Change the color over here. Alright, as you guys can see, I don't have a lot of resolution. I'm fine with it. And just depending on like what exactly do you need. Alright, so that's about the eyes. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get this a little bit bigger. Okay. And let's get a hair back. Hair. Alright. So the composition that we want is around that. So compared to what we had before, which is I made a copy this, right? So you can definitely see it's more well integrated. Different material and all that. So I'm going back to the material side and I want to change this back to here. Just want that kind of really tight feeling. Alright, so going back to skin shader. Alright, so we're good. So the eyes is done. Basically right now, let me explain a little bit about the hair. Hair, it's, as you guys can see, it's simple. I don't know if I need to explain anything specific, but it's just a sphere, right? It's a sphere, and I go in and I sculpt on the top. Again, for this, I didn't use any like more technical kind of way to do the hair because it's for 3D print. So I'm going to 3D print this out. Like after I finish this, I'm gonna email some people and I'm gonna get this 3D print going. So, alright, for hair, there's a lot of things that we can do if we want. We can add single strain over here to make it even better feeling. We can define this a little bit more. We can add poly paint. There's a lot that we can do. But as I said, this is not a texturing video, so I basically won't explain that, but I can go in and do a little bit more detail. So all I use is basically dim standard, and this standard you can change your brush size. Right now it's at this alpha, but if you can change to other alphas, that will give you other feeling. So let me just pick a alpha that I like, kind of. Yeah, so this is a bit too much. I want a more sharp one, maybe. Okay. So for this, you can kind of just go in and kind of do some sculpting. My point of this is to make the transition a bit better. So right now here is at 1.1 million. If I want, I can go in, I can do a little bit more. I can go to like 3 million or something. But I am not sure I need it because I'm not focusing on the hair. Let's just do it. So right now I'm subdividing one more time. So that means I have way more control of the hair that I'm doing. So I'm trying to break up some of it and keep some of the string that I already kind of designed in there. Just kind of move things around. I'm kind of enhance some of the stroke that I already have. And to go in, just do a little bit more. So sometimes I think it's very important to give you like the feelings of the hairs crossing each other. Just give it some variations here and there, you know. So that's kind of detail that you can add. If I were doing for my personal project, not 3D print, I will go in and make each of the strains comes out, and the hair will feeling a lot better. But since this is not what we're doing, well, that is not what I am doing, so this is kind of as far as I will go for this one. So I'm picking some hero strains basically. Okay. And same as here. Just picking some hair strains. And those are my kind of hero strains of the hair. And I can just make it pop out a little bit more. So at least kind of it has like a kind of depth in there. Okay. So yes, this is kind of just doing this kind of hair. Excuse me. Try not to repeat a lot of similar shape. So I don't like where all this go. Kind of want to go in here instead. So yeah, that's kind of how I detail the hair. Alright. Just go ahead and do another side really quick. sorry, I'm just sculpting and trying to add the detail here and there. Okay. So go back to the alpha that we're using. I want a kind of this kind of alpha, so you can have a full big pull down to kind of indicate like the line. Yeah, you can use this to kind of define more shapes around. The only thing is, you know, it has a pinch feeling, so you have to kind of be very careful when you're using it. And see that kind of feeling you want to create over here. Okay. But here, I'm trying to go in and make the break even more visible. And see there's for here we have a lot of stuff we can improve actually. One over here. Okay. This. So yeah, that kind of feeling. This can create a bigger kind of shape. When the detail, you can use another one to do. For here, gonna do this. Okay, so at least he has some feelings. Do a bigger one over here. Okay. You can play around with the lighting and see how it feels. And our kind of final composition will be around here. Yeah. Alright. So kind of fix the hair detail. And eyes. So next will be the head, and then we are ready to do our final render. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so let's talk more about hair. Last time we talked about the hair over here, and then I decided to go into each of the braided hair and basically detail every one of it out. Basically, it took me like 2 hours for this one. I haven't done the other one, but I will. I'm just kind of doing this for a hero shot over here. So, it's just detail. It's just basically detail. So the other thing that I want to kind of talk to you guys is I want to change the design a little bit in the front. So this is what I have already changed a little bit over here. If you guys want to see, I can basically what we had before. It's around here. Alright, and I make it to the lowest. I just do it one more time. I make it to the lowest, and I want a kind of curve in the end. Okay. And then I'm thinking duplicate this one. I'm just kind of trying new things here and there. And I want to get that feeling of two hair. So basically what I want is over here. but I don't want it to be exactly the same. So, and I want it to be smaller as well. Kind of something like this. And maybe I would do something like this, you know? So I want to save something over here, but at the same time I want to have something like this. You know, or maybe not over here, but over here. Yeah, I think this is a little bit too forced. So maybe something like that. Okay. Yeah. I'm not like too sure about this one, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, and this one, I want it to be a little bit more this way. And maybe I can smooth this out a little bit more. Just basically play around. Hopefully it'll give me a little bit more character feeling. And I'm gonna duplicate this, and kind of do the same thing. Going down. Make it smaller. Okay. So something like this. Right. Let's see how it looks if I go to the highest. Yeah, make me want to just kind of smooth out and redo a little bit. Here's fine. I believe this one will be fine. Okay. Alright then. You know what? Let's just do it. Easy way to do this. Basically you have the low, obviously. But you don't want the high. Just delete high. Then you have a low. You can start subdivide again. Smooth here and there. Subdivide even more until around here. Then we can start playing around, sculpting on the top. Oops. A bit weird. Interesting. So for this one, I think what I would do is, can I do this first? Yeah. And then I go in. Just trying to keep that hero strength. And then all the other can just follow basically. So yeah, much better. So after this we can reduce that one as well. I know the hair is just pretty tedious to do. But you know, I mean, you just need to do it. So once this is done, we will also be finishing up our hair. Like, I was not going to put a lot of effort on the hair because I show you guys how to do fiber mesh hair before, and also show you guys how did I do sculpting hair. So this is just a basically sculpting hair, but with just basically keep in mind that I am going to 3D print this out, so I won't be able to put crazy silhouette on the top of it because I know that it wouldn't print. Okay, so there's that. So we don't need that one since that one is pretty bad. Duplicate, go to the lowest one, rotate, rotate, and move. Okay, for this one, just do it again. Delete higher. similar to that. And then since you have a base of exactly the direction that you're going for, and just go in, kind of finish it. It's pretty straightforward for this one. I don't need like a lot of interesting curve on this one. Okay. Let's see. Alright. The only thing that I think I want to change is here though. It's this one. And this one I can get a little bit lazy just by smoothing this out. See, here they kind of help out by smoothing things out. After smooth it out, just go in, kind of re-emphasize some of the strength. Okay. Last one I want to fix is this one. I'm not happy with how this looks, especially around here. So I'm gonna just smooth this out. Go to the height. Smooth this out. Then smooth out even more. So this will feel better. So now I'll go in. Just sculpt it a little bit more. That's it. Alright. So after all this, there's still one more to go. I don't think you guys need to see this one though, because I'm doing this, I'm kind of tired of this already. So this is kind of, I have been going in detail every single one of it. It's definitely not that fun to do, and just not interesting. Only if I am smarter when I'm doing this. By smarter, I mean that, maybe I detail first and then create that brush. Okay, I'm getting a little bit tired, so I'm just gonna finish this quick. Okay. Alright, now we finish the hair sculpting. One more thing is I kind of want to, well, I would just leave it to the next one. So the next one I'm gonna do the hair. No, sorry, not the hair again, but the hat. After the hat, then we're just gonna do a quick render in Keyshot. So yeah, we're almost done with this. Hope you guys like it so far, but we still have a little bit to finish. So let's continue. Okay, so this will be a quick one just because we just want to explain how did I do the hat, uh, but it's exactly the same method as the clothing. Basically, the differences between that is I already have a low over here. That's the low. Let's turn off the color. So I can just basically use this and then go to, let's put this over here. We can just go to UV master, work on clones. So work on clones. And you can basically kind of set this up yourself. That's kind of material difference. But in this case, I'm wondering if I need to. Okay, I'll just show you guys. It's the same thing, right? So let's just do this. Alright. And try to get it clean first. I know it's not gonna be exactly, but just kind of like this, right? And this is the bottom part, which we don't. I'll just get this in there too, just to make sure that. Alright. So this is the bottom part that we kind of don't need. So basically, group visible, and then you'll have the groups. And all this, you can just group visible. And you have two groups, right? And we have two groups. You just polygroup, unwrap, and you just separate two of it, right? So this is easy. When you flatten, it'll give you this one, bottom, top. That's it. Copy UVs. Let's go back to where it is and paste UV. Now we have a UV. Now what we need to do is go to the highest of the digital and we need to mask out the bottom part. We could mask out the upper part. Just make sure here. Alright, so this is where that we're gonna apply the fabric. So basically, just go to noise. You can do this in a layer, by the way, but in this case I'm almost done, so I'm looking for kind of bumpy layer. Sorry, bumpy noise kind of feeling. So you can get a little bit more scaled down. That's just the noise, but you don't have to. I was thinking this is pretty cool too, but we can actually go to UV and this will be more evenly placed, and then import our alpha. See which one would be better. Maybe this one. Mixed noise, go to 0. Now the scale can be, this is noise scale, so it doesn't matter. It's alpha scale. And we all know this is not gonna be perfect, so let's see. And by the way, you can do color as well, right? So right now we have this. Let's try another one. Maybe this one. We can adjust the strength a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so I don't mind this feeling. So just go for this one. But interesting. Oh. Do we lose our color for some reason? Maybe because of the UV, but it's okay. Let's do it really quick. So as we do this, you can see kind of based on what color do you want to blend. It gives you kind of like fabric feeling of the detail. Let me just do this really quick because I want this to be black. And no, this won't have the detail. Alright. So now we have the color. We go to edit, and then you can do your color blend. Decide how much do you want. I think 0.5 will be fine, but I'm gonna blend it with a darker color instead. Or so you will kind of give it more information about the fabric. Yeah. More like a deep red color. So you also kind of change the red that you're using, by the way. At least now we have the color over here and over here. Okay, so I'm the highest one, so let's just apply it. Apply to mesh. There we go. Now we have the hat with detail, with color as well. Alright, so the other way, what if you already done this on, let's say the clothing, you know, but you want that kind of detail as well, so you can see the detail. You want that kind of detail? It's easy. Just do what I was saying, you know, using, let's just do this too. So basically go to mask, using cavity, make sure this is over here, and mask by cavity, and you got this. So for organic stuff, you don't want it to be everywhere, but for fabric, you do want it to be everywhere basically. So you inverse it, it will be inside basically of it, and then you pick, let's pick the color first. Let's go a little bit deeper. So a little bit deeper than the color that you're using basically. And then let's mask by cavity, inverse, and then start into just color and fill object. So before I do that, I wanted to put it around like 10 or 9. That doesn't really matter. And let's just fill like a few times, and when you go in, you'll be able to see all the detail with a big color. Yeah. So that's just another technique, and the other one that you can use is basically control So basically control the intensity of your cavity mask. So by doing this, if you do it maybe 20 when you mask by cavity, you will still, this one is not a good example. Let's say, so you can kind of see it's not giving you everything. Sometimes it's just give you the deeper part and then you can just paint on the lighter part basically. So um, that's just another quick kind of technique that I'm using for fabric, and that goes to armor as well. If I want to detail this armor, I will use cavity mask, maybe hand paint some of the detail and all that. But in this case, we don't have the need for that. Anyway, I think we are done with this. Maybe the last thing that I want to do is kind of just clean up a little bit over here. So now I think we are ready for the keyshot render. So let me save it first. A second, I want to change something really quick. I want to maybe if I can change the feeling of her expression, but this is just a try. I'm just thinking out loud and want to try in front of you guys basically. What if I do this? Let's go to the camera view. Just kind of a little bit more determined kind of feeling. Yeah, so for this, I want to make a layer. So before, I basically bake all the layer because I want to use color, and sometimes I told you guys color will kind of fuck up my layer, so I basically just um, bake it all, so I don't have any color layer information in there. But for this, what I want to try is I want to try to give her more like determined kind of feeling. Just a little bit on the eyes. That is it. And for the eyes, maybe I don't want it to kind of open, but maybe staring. And let's go to the camera view and see how does this work. About other views. Alright, so definitely feel more determined to me. And I guess what I don't really like is how the eyes look right now. So I'm gonna go in. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to fix part of it. Hmm, I think that's kind of cool. And give it more like a kind of stylized kind of feeling. Okay. So compare this to that. Alright. So I think we explained basically everything. Now I'm ready to do a keychart render. I will finish this though, but not in front of you guys. This is taking, I don't want to put 2 to 3 hours in there and just have you guys look at and detail every single one of them. So, alright, next one, keyshot render, and then we're gonna do a comp in Photoshop.